At one point in my life, I ate this sandwich every day. The Jersey Mike's tuna fish sandwich with red pepper relish. I was in a food rut. I don't know why I had it every day. It just happened. Now, vegan tuna is really fairly simple to replicate at home. I have a new variation that I want to try, and I'm going to show you that today. But I also wanted to try a store-bought version, the Loma Linda Tuna. I've had a few store-bought vegan tunas that have not been that great. I really haven't liked them. They have a weird, funky taste for some reason. So let's see how my version compares to the Loma Linda Tuna and see if Loma Linda has that funky taste. Let's make the Jersey Mike's tuna fish sandwich. But first, let's make my favorite thing, the cherry pepper relish. Now, I don't happen to have any cherry peppers, but it's still gonna work. So for this recipe, we're gonna be using 3 long sweet peppers. We just need to chop them up pretty fine, seeds and all. Now, the cherry peppers have a very distinct taste and flavor, so that is gonna make a difference if you can find them. If you can't find them, you can just really use any sweet-ish pepper. The amount of sweetness and the amount of heat is up to you. It's like the flavor that's gonna differ a little bit. I like these like long sweet peppers because they have a similar taste to the cherry peppers, but we're also going to be using a red bell pepper here as well. So we have about a little over half a pound of peppers. Now I'm gonna be using a white onion, about half of it chopped up pretty fine, same thing, and about 6 cloves of garlic. Now I wanna make this sweet pepper relish sweet and a little spicy. So we're gonna be using a cup of sugar and about a tablespoon of red pepper flakes. Now, if you're using like a hot pepper, you don't have to use the red pepper flakes. Do the heat how you like it. Now I'm gonna be using 2 vinegars. I'm using just a basic champagne vinegar and an apple cider vinegar. And for the seasoning, we just need to hit it up with some salt and black pepper. That's it. Now we just need to throw this on the heat. I'm gonna throw it into a pan, throw it on about a medium heat, and we're gonna get this up to a simmer. Once it's simmering, bring the heat down and then let it just settle at that simmer for about 45 minutes, continuously stirring. Now I'm gonna let that cook. Let's make our tuna fish. I'm gonna be using jackfruit and chickpeas. Maybe not the way you're thinking, I don't know, let's see. So all we're gonna do is just wash our jackfruit and then we're just gonna dump it on the counter. Normally I would like squeeze and press to get rid of the seeds, but we're not doing that this time. What I'm gonna do this time is I'm just gonna squeeze the ends to kind of like open up the fibers, what's gonna be like the tuna part, and then we're just gonna chop that off, saving the stem, like the end, the hard part, and the seed. Now stick with me here. What we're gonna do is we're going to spread those little fiber parts just on just a basic baking sheet, and then we're gonna throw the big chunks and seeds into a food processor. I'm just gonna pulse that up for just a moment. It's not gonna take that long. I just wanna kind of like get them like chunky. Now spread those little chunks across the other parts of the jackfruit and just kind of spread it all in so that way it works. We're gonna throw this into I'm putting it in the toaster oven, but you can put it into the oven at about like 220, 250 degrees for about 30, 40 minutes. And boop, we're back. Okay, so now we have our kind of like dry. I didn't dehydrate them fully. I dehydrated them mostly. We just needed kind of like a softer, slightly drier texture. So at this point, we're gonna now pop out our chickpeas. Now I don't need the whole can, save that for your salads, whatever you wanna use your chickpeas for. We just need about 1/4 cup for what we're gonna be doing. At this point, I don't need to make a ton of tuna. I'm gonna store the other jackfruit away for using it for something else. I have another idea for it I'm super excited to tell you about. But for right now, we're just gonna use the half of this along with those 1/4 cups of chickpeas and just kind of mix it together. I didn't say this, but I hope you saw it. I mashed those chickpeas up before I added in the jackpeas. Jackfruit. Now just mix up your jackpeas and chickpeas, and then we're just gonna make this into a tuna salad. Tuna salad, you're gonna need some celery. I already added just a little bit. We're just gonna chop that kind of fine, a little bit of salt, pepper, and mayo. Now for the salt, we're making tuna, so I'm gonna use sea salt, of course, because it's from the sea. The tuna is not it's okay. So we're just gonna add some sea salt. I'm gonna also add a little bit of kelp granules. That's gonna give it just a touch of that fishiness that we want. Just a touch. We don't need much. Now we just want to add our mayo and we're good to go. This is a super, super duper simple tuna salad recipe. Speaking of tuna salad, I mean, just look at this. I'm so excited for you all to try this because I know there's been like a ton of like come on. Now I know there's like a ton of like chickpea salad recipes. It's super common, but like this whole like thing of like doing the combination of the jackfruit and chickpeas, wow. I just cannot wait for you to try this. Now at this point, we're just going to make our Loma Linda tuna. We're going to do the same recipe, all of the same ingredients, so that way we're judging it based on the actual tuna itself. You know, the salt, the kelp, the mayo, everything. Just mix it up, and then we're just gonna throw both of these in the fridge and allow them to chill while, just while I take a break. And this is actually a great time to bring up today's sponsor.
Green Chef is the first CCOF certified organic meal kit company. And in case you didn't know, CCOF stands for California Certified Organic Farmers. CCOF certified producers grow, process, and sell organic foods. And Green Chef has options for every kind of lifestyle, including keto and paleo, vegan, gluten-free, vegetarian, fast and fit, and Mediterranean. And Green Chef makes cooking easy with step-by-step instructions, chef tips, and photos to guide you as you follow along on the recipe. And you can enjoy your greens while being green, as Green Chef is the most sustainable meal kit, offsetting 100% of the plastic in every box and 100% of their carbon footprint and emissions. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you have seen me cook with Green Chef, I got dozens and dozens of times. And that's because they're awesome. I mean, every single meal comes out incredible. And this sandwich right here, I have a really good feeling about. I'm really excited about it. And I mean, look at this. Look at it. This sandwich, this right here is why I always go with Green Chef, because I mean, this just looks perfect. That's incredible. So gang, use my code SauceStache130 to get $130 off plus free shipping on your first box. Head over to greenchef.com for more details. That's SauceStache130 gets you $130 off plus free shipping on your first box. Green Chef, thanks for sponsoring today's video and always sending me really great food. I love this sandwich. It's like super good.
So now the red pepper relish is done. I mean, look at that. That looks amazing. So all we want to do is just want to jar this up. I'm going to do it in a mason jar because you're going to want to save this. I'm going to be adding some lactic acid. It's going to add some acidity to it and some for some flavor, but also for some preservative and a little bit of xanthan gum. The xanthan gum is going to thicken this up. It's going to kind of almost jelly it. It's going to make it very spreadable. Now just toss it in the fridge and let it cool down. It's been about an hour. Now let's make the sandwich. So the one thing that I really always liked about Jersey Mike's was that everything was sliced incredibly thin. Like their onions were like paper thin. Did you ever watch that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer gets the deli slicer and he talks about how it's the surface area that gets all the flavor? I kind of believe that. So they did the same thing with their lettuce. It was shredded lettuce, but it was very fine shredded lettuce. For some reason, when a deli has that kind of lettuce on a sandwich, I just don't even know. It does something to you. So we sliced our lettuce, tomato, and onions for our sandwich. Now let's just start throwing this together. There are some more tricks up the sleeve on this guy. So you do need a giant bun for a Jersey Mike sub. They are huge. But we're not going to make this whole thing. I'm just kind of kidding. So cut this thing down to normal size, cut it into a sandwich bun, and now let's start topping it. And don't make fun of my vertical cutting. It's just the way I like to cut these buns. Look at very nice straight line. I'm okay with it. Now we're going to top the rounded side with our Loma Linda tuna. I'll tell you, it does spread a little weird. It spreads just like the other vegan tuna that I tried. Then just throw on our lettuce, tomato, and onions, and then we're going to pull out that red pepper relish, spread that on. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so good. You're going to lose it when you try it. It goes on every Okay, never mind. I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'm sorry. Now we just need a little bit of olive oil, red wine vinegar. We're going to do some oregano, some pepper, and salt. And here it is. I mean, this sandwich looks amazing. Now all we have to do is repeat with our chickpea and jackpea salad sandwich. And I mean, this is going to be so good. Let's see what Monica has to say. Now, the first one we're going to try is the Loma Linda Tuna sub. I mean, that looks so good.
Boom. Cheers.
It might have been a little juicy.
Oh my God, I love this. It tastes like tuna, sweet and juicy.
Okay.
I wasn't sold yet. Let's try my version. Now, Monica doesn't know which one's which, so I do want to say that.
A little bit more tuna-y.
Way more tuna, right? Mm-hmm. Like that.
Yeah, it's just really tuna-y and really good.
That's wildly surprising.
And I love everything with it. I love the relish, the lettuce. I love the way everything tastes together. What's the difference?
Well, baby, I think the biggest difference was that the Loma Linda and a lot of the other store-bought versions that I've tried use a protein. And those proteins work really well in a burger because you can mask them with all of the glutamate. But in tuna, you can't really mask that flavor because it's fairly plain. And I'll say, I wish I would have talked a little bit more about the red pepper relish, but it is not plain. It is all of the flavor. And that's what really makes this sandwich great.